Cindy Stern.
I'm JD Cargill.
And I'm Michelle Arago, and this is Friends Some and Then Some.
We are three best friends who met over 2 decades ago, working in LA's local news scene, and we started this podcast to listen, learn, and laugh. How do we laugh? On our journey to improving the midlife experience through the incredible power of friendship.
And each week we rip back the curtain on midlife, candidly exposing the biggest issues facing middle-aged people, often by sharing the intimate details of our own lives and our friendship. Through expert guests and celebrity interviews, we offer friendship-based tips, tricks, hacks, and solutions to living your best midlife. We are Midlife AF
And Flossom AH.
So here we go. It's
Friends Some and Then Some. That time I was like, I'm going to do the rooster. Cock-a-doodle-doo.
You just like you're trying to ventriloquist the rooster. Lip sync. Rooster lip sync.
Hello, ladies. Welcome back to another episode of Friends Some and Then Some.
Pretty in purple. 50 Shades of Purple today.
Right? It's lavender. We are.
I wonder what that book would be, 50 Shades of Purple.
Actually, that's a little bondagey, man. I like that.
I'm going for it.
Got a cobweb sort of fun. I don't know.
Whatever.
You know, sexy, but not trying too hard, but you kind of trying. I don't know. Anyway, you know, it's fine.
All right, Tim Gunn.
Today's show is about backward compliments.
Today's show.
Backhanded compliments.
Yeah, that's what it is. It's backhanded, not a backward.
It's not a backward compliment. Hey, you look great over there.
I love backwards compliments. Let me turn around. No, the truth is I look forward to this moment every week. I love you two so much, and our little podcast about friendship is it's a light. It's a light in my week.
I know, and we hope it's a light in your week if you're listening to us wherever you catch podcasts, and you can always follow us on Facebook and Instagram, Friends Some and Then Some. But today, you know, we're all about friends, and these are a couple of fun gals, and you are very familiar with one. The other one has had a very commendable career of her own, but they're besties.
They are besties, real life besties,
and you've seen her on Real Housewives of Orange County, Heather Dubrow's World, her podcast, and of course she's an actress from That's Life. She's done so many things with. She has a husband that's kind of known. Maybe he has a little show called Botched on E! It's my husband's favorite binge show, and they have a very big life, very big family, a beautiful thing. I've been in her closet virtually, and then her bestie Sarah Cohen, who has a big career in television, PR in LA, and teacher to mom, full-time mom, and now cognitive therapist, has done so many things. Please welcome to Friends Some and Then Some, Heather Dubrow and Sarah Cohen.
Yay, welcome.
Welcome, ladies.
Hi.
Thanks for getting up with us.
I love it. Boy, both of you have such beautiful setups and such beautiful women to look at. How the heck are you? How are you, Heather?
That's so kind. I'm soaked in tequila from last night.
That's the kind of morning we like to have. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
a delicious tequila.
And I just went
marinade.
to my new obsession, which is the infrared sauna.
Oh yeah, that's supposed to be so good for expelling the toxin tequila out of your system and such.
That's what I hoped, but I don't feel that much better. I got to be honest.
You know what
Snake
I'll
oil.
tell you my trick. This is my trick for drinking tequila, because I love a skinny tequila with tequila, lime, and maybe a shot of grapefruit juice. But I bring those liquid IV too, and I'll put that in tequila. The lemon lime liquid IV with the tequila makes a really nice mixture, so you're both hydrating and dehydrating at the same time. And then what I do when I order a tequila at the drink, here I go. No, I order a tequila drink at the table. So it's half of. When I get halfway done with my tequila, I pour my water in it from the waiter. And then I keep
do that too.
adding the water, so it just becomes a more diluted tequila as we go, but it still has the flavor of the tequila and lime.
That sounds miserable.
Oh, it's wonderful.
That sounds like the worst tequila.
You know why?
ever.
Because my next day is not miserable
Yes.
because of that. It's amazing.
True.
We need to
Maybe
hide.
try Topo Chico. It's
What's
so
Topo
good.
Chico?
Oh my gosh, Heather, have you not read about that?
No,
What's
is it
What's
really
up with
bad?
Topo Chico?
Oh, it's like the worst sparkling water. It made me cry.
Wait, in terms of the health?
I need to send you.
Can't
Yeah,
win.
like supposedly it was like the best sparkling water, and it tastes so great.
Yeah.
And then my cousin sent me a link that showed me it rated the worst of the worst.
Heather, there goes
waters.
your endorsement. Your sponsorship's
well,
dropped.
Sorry, I do not know what happened.
Speaking of
Hold on, let me
endorsements.
rip it off the wall.
We'll replace
the
it
best, though. I mean, hey, I don't know.
I thought it was healthy.
Why is it bad, Sarah? Why
I
is
thought
it
they
bad?
put minerals in it that were supposed to like change our lives.
Wait, I thought we needed minerals. I just watched a documentary with Zac Efron on Netflix. Have you seen this? Or maybe it was Amazon. I can't remember. But he has a whole documentary about water and the scarcity of water.
Yeah.
Did you know that when you go to the store to buy bottled water, you should buy spring water, not purified water, because purified water actually takes out the natural minerals that our bodies do need. And that was what I learned from that documentary.
Okay.
Whatever happened to the tap?
Right?
I know. I drink out of tap every day.
I like a filtered tap water taste better than a natural spring. So.
Yeah.
But don't they use chemicals to filter the water? That's what I don't get.
Right, in our public supply, yes, for
dirty
sure.
water.
I might as well
cleaned.
just go back to drinking Diet Coke.
I mean, if that's not the
point,
theme here,
me
I don't know what
too.
is. So true.
Oh my God. So Heather, what is your drink of choice? I'm curious because, we can't drink that water anymore.
Yeah, that's a problem. You mean my alcoholic beverage?
Yes, your beverage of choice.
Well, I'm a Champs drinker.
She loves her Champs. She got a Champs button in her closet. Do you still have the
I
Champs
do.
button? Champagne,
I
please.
certainly do. And it rings in the kitchen, but there is a design flaw. There's no one to bring it to me. So that's a problem.
So,
But I do love champagne. But then I love tequila. So I will drink tequila and soda with lots of fresh lime in it, and then a little splash of grapefruit juice.
Yeah.
That's my go-to drink. The reason why I mean, I don't know what happened last night, but we just happened to know a lot of people at the restaurant. People kept coming over, and then there was champagne. And when you mix,
No,
Yeah.
not good.
that's when things get bad.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I seem to always mix with you.
It's my fault for sure.
I just love you. Okay, here we went off the rails because that I don't know where that started, but it was fun. Oh yeah, your tequila hangover. That's where it started. But let's you have a fun banner between. Tell us the story of how you two met and how long you've been friends, and a little bit about your background together.
So, all right, maybe I'll kick it off here. So
Yeah.
we met at Temple Bat Yam at the baby class, and I think I just moved to Orange County.
This
Or
is
had I
before
been-
Housewives.
So yeah, because I met you while you were living in Orange County.
Yeah. So I just moved here, and I had the twins, and I joined this baby class, and there was Sarah, and I was like, it was like the heavens opened and gave me a normal friend in a sea of people that I didn't know anyone. It's hard when you move to a new place.
Yeah.
And we immediately became friends. Like immediately, didn't we?
Yeah, no, for sure. I remember you coming up to me on like the playground, like the last 10 minutes of the class, it's like chaos in the play. And you're like, are you free tonight? We're going to celebrate Rachel's birthday. I'm like, barely even knew who Rachel was. So I'm like,
how is
sure,
Rachel?
why not? And the rest was, I remember going to dinner and I thought this was one of my favorite things is we meet at the restaurant and we're all walking to the table. There are like 5 of us. And Heather pulls me aside and she's like, I'm not drinking because I'm pregnant.
Oh,
That's the only reason.
bonded by secrets
And then
already.
I was like, I don't know if she was sharing with. I'm like, oh, okay, good to know.
Didn't want her to think I wasn't fun. But what was so funny was, so we become friends, and we instantly become friends, and we bond, and we have all these kids at the same time, and all these memories and everything.
She
But-
has all these kids. She has 4. I have 2.
No,
She
but there's
knows.
6 together, we celebrate, we do all of our holidays together and all this stuff. But at one point we were talking, my daughter Max and her daughter Ryan, which is so funny because we always thought they sound like 2 little Jewish old men sitting there, and Max and Ryan, these 2 girls. And we were telling them one time that it's okay that you don't have everything in common with your best friend. And so we start talking to them and we realized during the conversation, we have nothing in common, like 0. Even down to like, she likes Diet Pepsi. I like Diet Coke.
Oh,
she likes
that's a big
crushed
one.
ice. I like whole ice. She likes a lemon. I'm a lime. Like we literally have 0.
And are these
We were trying
daughters
to
now
point this out,
graduated?
and then we looked at each other like, we're like, why are we even friends? What are we even like here?
It's the yin and yang. I love it. What about, aren't these girls now graduated from high school? I saw you were posting, Heather, that your daughter's graduating. Congratulations. I think
Thanks.
that's
That's
such
Kat.
a huge.
That's the oldest one.
She graduated 8th grade. My twins and Sarah's oldest, Ryan, are going into their senior year this coming year.
Wow.
So we're in the
Jeez.
college
I know.
application process.
Oh,
and I
fun.
keep joking. Thank God that all happened, the scandal, because I was like 3 semesters away from an orange jumpsuit, I'm telling you.
I love it.
And I like, what did you do?
What'd you do? Who do I call? What, rowing? Okay.
How much do I have to pay?
Isn't it funny though when you have something with a friend or something like that that's so big in the media? I like to go, well, how many steps am I from making that really bad mistake?
Oh, right.
And when this happened, I'm like, so if I had the money,
Right.
would I have done that? I mean,
The college entrance scandal,
it's so
right? That's what we're
funny,
talking
the
about.
judgment that happens in this country. I'm like, is it illegal or unethical? Like, what? And where's that dance? And if I had
Ask Lori Loughlin
Right,
for Orange Soup tells us it's illegal or not. It was illegal.
Yeah, it was illegal. But you know what? But there's a gray area. I think there's a gray area. I think that, putting your kid on a piece of equipment of a team they're not a part of and taking someone's spot is
That's not very
only
gray.
illegal, that's
pretty
unethical. That's not cool.
Yeah.
But you know what? If you got the money, like buy the building. And if your kid doesn't want to go to college, what are you doing?
Right.
Stop forcing them.
Don't.
Let them live their life.
Right.
Well, where are they going to record their YouTube series from? If not their dorm room at USC, right? I mean, it's so ridiculous. Like the thought that first of all, who is lying to get into USC? You're right. You just got to pay for a building. But the truth is, I think that this is such an important topic because in that whole scandal, I didn't fault the parents as much as I faulted the educators and the people who were making it happen. Because you talk to any parent, and they will do anything they can for the love of their child, right? And so there's an understandability there to some degree. But for these educators who just out of pure greed took money in order to give some spot to someone who didn't deserve it, that is pretty upsetting, actually. That's all I got to say about that, ladies.
Okay, back to your friendship. And how the orange jumpsuits that you almost could have worn together.
From orange jumpsuits to Orange County.
We digress a lot.
Yeah, we do. By the way, we never finish a conversation. So there's something, this is the thing about me and Sarah. We'll go sit down. I'll be like, all right, we're going to meet up. We're going to have drinks. I'll meet you at like 3:00. We will sit down like we did this a couple months ago. We sat at Javier's and at 3:00 and we sat there for so many hours that our husbands ended up joining us for dinner. And then we had dinner, the four of us, and then we left and I texted her like, oh, we forgot to talk about blah, 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 or whatever.
All
We've
that
been
time
together
you
for like
forgot
10
something?
hours.
How many waiters' shifts
good friendship.
changed in that time? You know, when
Probably
waiters
3.
are like,
Oh my gosh,
my
completely.
shift's changing.
It's
so
like
this
such a
is
settle up.
over.
Yeah,
Hi.
exactly.
Can
This
you
table
tip
is
me
now
and
being
move the-
reserved for dinner.
Exactly.
Can you guys move?
Exactly. You guys are welcome to stay, but we've set a table up for you in the parking lot by your car. If you don't mind
Which,
moving
by the
there.
way, that's every restaurant now.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm
I
having
love that.
dinner right next to my car.
That's a sign of a good time,
Exactly,
though, right?
that's
When
a
you
good
have a waiter
friends.
give you the side eye and be like, I'm
You've been here a
changing
minute.
shifts. And you're like, yes, we're having a good time. Bye-bye. So we're ready to meet the next person.
Has there ever been a time the two of you have ever like been at odds? And how many years have you been friends now? So your kids are, you're like, what?
So 17. So we've been 15
16,
years.
15,
Yeah,
16
Wow.
years.
yeah.
Ever been at odds ever?
I don't think so.
No, just opposite.
No.
So then the
No.
friendship hasn't been tested. So you're not sure
No,
if it's
no,
gonna last.
Actually,
Okay, that's a better
Hmm.
question.
we
That's
go.
not
I
true.
like
I
it.
wonder if we're going to tell the same story.
okay,
Oh, I love this.
Okay.
Both of
Yeah,
you write your
okay.
answers down. This is the newly friends game.
Write it down so you
Yeah.
can't lie.
Hold
All
the
right.
paper.
She
Newly
would never
friends.
lie. What I remember is we had another person come between our kids.
Oh.
Is that the story you're going to tell?
Yeah,
Oh.
exactly.
The girls were very good friends, and this interloper, we'll call her, really did a number on the friendship, and it was bad, and it took a toll on our relationship because they weren't speaking, and I was just really proud of the way we handled it, and we talked about it, and they found their way back to each other. Eventually, now they're amazingly good friends again. But that was hard.
We did family vacations. We were always together. And then when the girls weren't getting along, you know, we really had to take a step back. And it was very, very hard. So it had nothing to do with, you know, I mean, again, Heather and I think, did handle it the right way. And
What is the right way? I just talked to Mindy this
well,
week
I think
about.
we both, to be honest, we're protecting our kids. You know, like I think, you know, this is so trivial when you talk about like this other child, but like she really wanted to be super close with Max. So it was kind of, Ryan was getting a little bit pushed to the side.
Yeah, by the
And-
way, my kid, I think, was at fault. But didn't understand that she was at fault. They were at an age where, they're
Totally.
influenced by their friends. But, I'm not one of those parents who's like, thinks my child is empirically right. And that's
neither.
why.
Thank you.
That's one of the reasons why I think Sarah and I get along so well, is that we're very honest about ourselves, our relationships, our children, our husband, like the whole thing. And so you feel like you have a very safe space to talk. And I think, I had sleepless nights too, because I felt terrible.
Well, absolutely. I feel like you also, my daughter was going through something at the time. Heather was so understanding, and I know Heather loves my family. And Heather and Paul have their own, my husband have their own, they're like siblings. They're, so it was, so that was hard, but it didn't,
I have
were
a
only,
quick
we're only
question.
Stronger because of it.
So I have a quick
true.
question, because I'm going through this in my friend group I'm in the group, but I'm an outsider of the strife between the two, where there's tweens who are fighting. And the moms now are fighting because they're defending their kids. And then I talked to Mindy about it this week, and Mindy said she broke the mom code. There was something that happened. But what I wanted to ask you guys, because this is super relevant to my life right now, you're saying you handled it well. What does that mean? Does it mean you got involved and tried to have like an intervention with the kids, or did you stay out of it? Because there's two schools of thought, right? Like my grandmother and mom always said, I don't get in the middle of kids' fights, because you get involved and then the next day they're fine, and then you've just had a battle with the mom, and then now they're BFFs, and now there's
like
a
when
rift
your best friend breaks up with a
adults.
boyfriend, and then you slam that boyfriend, and the next week they're back together.
Exactly.
Right? Showed
So
my cards.
what do you mean you handled it well? Because I want to intervene and help this situation, because it's going to affect we were talking about, what do we do for our summer barbecues? Like, this is going to affect the whole group now.
It is. And
not barbecue season.
It is a transition.
Bad season to break up.
And Heather, correct me if I think we did try. I don't think we got involved like, you girls need to sit down and chat about this, and you guys are like cousins and work it out. We weren't like that, but I think we did a dinner out, or got our families together, and it didn't go well.
Yeah.
And we both saw that was, wasn't a good fit. And then naturally we just kind of took a break from doing that kind of stuff. So
we took a break for it, but I think, I think also the way we handled it, and Sarah can speak to her side, but we didn't sit them down and we didn't get involved. I don't ever think that's the answer.
They really have to fight their own battles.
They have to learn. They have to learn how to navigate life and navigate relationships. And, as a parent, I try not to talk at them too much and try to listen a bit more. I do remember, I don't yes my kids. So if Max and I talked about it, I would tell her that I thought she was wrong. And of course, she didn't want to hear that at the time. But I think one of the things that we did right is Sarah and I spoke very openly and honestly to each other about what was going on and how we felt. We maintained our friendship. We stayed out of it, but talked to them separately. And I think the other thing we really did well was, we had to back off some of our family togetherness, but we kept reintroducing. And then they got to a place where they just found each other.
They were over it, yeah.
And I think it kind of happened, if I remember, I think it kind of happened through social media, didn't it, Sarah?
Gosh, I don't remember. I just remember one time, you texted me kind of out of the blue and said Max would love for Ryan to come over. That's when you were in Emerald Bay.
Yeah,
and I was like, okay. And I was a little bit, and going back to, I always said to Ryan, if she was like, Max is hurting my feelings, I'm like, well, you shouldn't, my thing was, if somebody's hurting your feelings and not making you feel good, then we're not going to hang out with it. Yeah. That's the, end of story. So I won't put you in that position, So anyways, you called or text me, and I asked Ryan, I'm like, would you and it might've been through, and she's like, yeah, I'd like to go over there. But they ended up having such a great time. Heather's like, oh, Max would love Ryan to spend the night. And I'm like,
pushing it.
I'm like, we're really pushing it now. So I just remember I'm like, I'm loving this, but I'm going to pick Brian up at like 9 and we'll go from there. You know, like
baby
let's
steps.
keep
You
it,
respect
like,
each other's boundaries too.
Yeah.
You guys don't understand. This is giving me life because it is literally in my current, and it's, you said sleepless nights. I just was relating to that because I'm having sleepless nights over what does this mean for our 4th of July? Or if do I uninvite someone, like, and I'm on that, like I said, the outside.
The parents get involved. I mean, like,
it got ugly. I'm not going to lie.
Right. And like, if they're not letting their kids work it out. Cause like I remember parent advice that has always stuck with me is that if your child doesn't like another child, we don't know what that other child is doing behind closed doors. So like we might think, oh, they're the greatest kid ever. And why wouldn't you want to hang out with them? And then you find out that they're vaping all the time. And that's the reason your child doesn't want to be around them, is because that's uncomfortable to them.
Yeah. And they don't want to rat them out.
Right. Exactly.
Good
and
advice.
so forcing relationships is not going to get you anywhere.
Heather, what's your best parent advice?
The good news is there's the other side. You get on the other side of it. I mean, I'm happy to report Max and Ryan are like best friends for life.
Love it.
And they have a go-to. And I remember, it's funny because I remember Sarah, something she told me when we first met, she was like, she has this other best friend named Heather. And we would talk about her, and she would say, it's good to have a friend that's not at your school, because when you're having problems in your friend group, which always happens. You have someone in another friend group at another school that can listen and just be there for you. And so they have that, and they really are like cousins. And we're back to doing family things and Passovers and everything. We did a really funny hibachi Passover this year.
Hibachi.
Hibachi.
Again, quite the mixing. Started with tequila.
Of course it did.
Champagne.
Of course it did.
Sake.
But Heather, I will say this: the one thing that's different, and what I want to pull out what you said was, I'm not the kind of parent that thinks, kind of like my kid's shit doesn't stink. I hate to say it in that way, but you didn't say it exactly. I'm pulling your quote. But in this situation, one parent thinks her kid is innocent, end all be all, very indignant on a position and just holding, where I am the kind of parent too, where I'm like, I hear a story about my kid and I'm like, you know what? It's very possible that happened. Even though I might get defensive or think there's no way that soul could do that, I'm not the kind of parent who is delusional. And even though you have a great kid, they can do some really effed up stuff, right?
Yeah, of course. Everyone can make a mistake. Everyone has regrettable moments, but those are teaching moments, so you got to figure it out and work through it.
Hey, I wonder, what was the teaching moment like? Because you guys have gone through something that isn't that common, although we can maybe kind of relate a little bit with Mindy too, but to have a friendship start and then one of the friends experiences fame or this huge amount of notoriety that came along with your Real Housewives of Orange County show, I'm sure, Heather. What was that like for your friendship? What was it like to navigate going from having sort of probably more normalcy to all of a sudden having cameras around and people pulling your best friend in different directions and stuff? And
well,
I was just going to say that was a hard transition.
I bet.
Yeah, I'm curious to hear about that too. But what's funny is when I first met Sarah, I met her and she had been working in PR and she knew who I was from when I was Heather Page Kent, when I was doing scripted TV. So was it that different?
Well, it's funny you bring that up because I was.
Hello.
Jack.
Half of your child population just popped in that door there for a moment. One. That's either one or two. I don't know which one.
Did you see his look?
Look, he's
crap.
like, oh, bummer.
Hi, cutie.
Hi, son.
Come say hi.
He's a sea king.
I know he can't hear you.
Wait, what grade is he in?
He's going into 8th grade.
Oh,
So handsome.
He and Kat are very good friends.
Okay, I'll be down in a little bit.
Thanks.
He just woke up because he was out till 2 a.m. too.
School night.
I love watching someone parent while
grass-
giving parenting advice. I love it. It's just a moment, just to prove I'm an expert. Over here, Junior.
I'm glad he was in a good mood. No, but so what I was going to say was, I mean, ironically, like even knowing that Heather was in the industry and all that, I met her as the stay-at-home mom. So I and one of the things that I thought was the coolest thing about her is that she had these twins, and she had a nanny at all these like mommy-annies or whatever, but literally to help her when the kids ran like this. It was not so she could sit on her bottom and, you know, like,
You're very hands-on,
she had control of both. Oh my gosh, so hands-on. She was like, oh, you can go, you know, wait in the car. I've got it. You know, everything seems, you know, so I thought that was really cool. But anyway, so when she got the Housewife, I remember when she told me, I had never even watched the show. So I was
Me
like,
either.
And then all of a sudden, I don't even think it really dawned on me until we were in Laguna Beach and we were walking around. We took the kids down to the beach and whatever. And all of a sudden there's like this honking and waving to like Terry. I'm like, what? I'm like, Terry, I guess that's a friend. Wait, who is you? Like, I literally thought it was like his friend. And then all of a sudden it dawned on me like, oh my God, people are stopping you guys to take pictures? What is
Well,
I'm
I
like,
mean,
this is weird. So funny enough, like they could handle it, but I was like, what is going on? You're stopping. We're going to the candy store. Why do these people want pictures with you? Like,
it's, and
so.
you know, and Mindy, you know, it's like such a, all three of you guys know, it's a weird fame. It's different. I mean, back when I was on scripted television, we didn't have social media. We didn't have all this stuff. So, you know, people, they knew your show, or they would say like, oh, I love your show, or I love your character. But
You're not a
this
character.
is
You're
a
like,
whole
this
different
is
thing.
you.
They know you.
It's not a character.
Yeah,
Right.
I get
Yeah.
it.
That's like the interesting thing, because I know, you know, Mindy's been approached before about that
Heather
show and stuff. And I
tried
know
to
we
get her
haven't
to
had
do
many
it.
a conversation about what that might look like, and I don't know.
Well, you've always been the kind of the person I've said, well, Heather did it and did it well, and
Right.
she was the nice one. You were always known as the nice one. I'm like,
There's only
I
room
could
for
probably be
one
the
nice one though on each show.
Well, I think they have room for you now, Mindy.
no nice ones on there right now.
I don't know.
I don't know. I'm just joking. I haven't seen it.
I haven't either. I haven't seen it at all this season.
I think it's the minute someone says you have no editing control, I'm
That
like,
scares
bye-bye.
me, yeah.
Like, and in that case, I'm not going to look great.
Yeah.
Heather handled it so well though.
It's how many years was it, Heather?
You weren't a
I was on for 5 seasons, and Sarah was awesome. I'd be like, I'm having a party. You have to come. There's going to be cameras. I can't hang out with you, but will you come anyway?
That's like a friend.
Oh yeah. Paul's like, finally, Paul, one time, I remember it was when you were launching the champagne.
Uh-huh.
And I was always the last, I'm like, sure, I'll come. I mean, why not? And then Paul, my husband, was like, so we were supposed to fly to, I guess, Napa. And the following week, I think we were going to Hawaii. So, and it just like, he had a business meeting, whatever. And I'm like, no, we have to go. And finally he sat me down and he's like, no, we don't have to go. This is for the show. This is not, I'm like, we're so rude. And we're not going to this and blah, blah, blah. He's like, okay, check yourself. When do you think? And I'm like, you're so mean. It was like the biggest fight we had gotten in. I'm like, you're so mean.
But you're still, are your husband's friends? Like, how's that
I
going?
was going to ask that.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
they get along. Well, who
Very
can't be a
close.
friend with Terry? Terry, I don't know your husband, Sarah, but Terry's just so affable and
And Terry's one of the two doctors on Botch, right? One of the
Yeah.
two plastic surgeons. Which one? Because I've seen the show and I'm
Not
familiar
the
with
dark
it.
hair.
Taller-
He's the
the
funny
taller
one.
one.
Taller,
Ah.
fun one. Yeah.
Those guys are hilarious
Yeah.
together.
Well,
I
I
love
love
their
them
relationship.
together.
They
Yeah.
A little
talk about
funny-
best friends. They seem like best friends.
And the funny part is that sometimes Terry will like send my Paul something meant for
Paul.
Oh, Paul Nessa.
Oh, that's
And
so
it's like-
funny.
He'll be like getting like, you know, like some picture of like something botched or whatever. And then he's like, I think this was meant for the other Paul. But
That's so
thanks for
funny.
the
I didn't know
entertainment.
that. That's hilarious.
That's funny.
Heather, those two act like siblings, brothers. Terry's always jabbing at Paul, and Paul just sort of takes it. It's kind of funny. Does Terry have that personality outside of their relationship? Is he the prankster, the jabster?
No. Listen, I always say and Sarah, you back me up on this, or maybe you don't feel this way, but Terry, I always say it's TV Terry, like he has his television personality and his real personality. Because I mean, look, is that part of him? Yes, he's like jokey and he like tells all the bad dad jokes and all that kind
Dad
of thing.
jokes.
But he's not very social. And he likes to go out with me alone, or just like a very small group, like Sarah and Paul. He likes to go out. There's like 3 other couples that he will go out with, and that's it. He doesn't like parties. He's just, it's not him.
Oh,
Mindy,
okay.
you know, he's pretty.
Sorry,
I mean,
Betsy.
he's fun. He's super fun, and he's funny and personable, but he's not like Mr. Jokester all the time. And
He's a lot of fun. No, I guess I see him when we've spent time together. He's just really engaging. I really like Terry. He's really engaging. He's
a great
really
guy.
lively. He's a big personality, and he's really funny. But even we were talking about getting the vaccines, and he's like, "Okay, what is he? I'm going to go kiss a stranger or make
no, he was like, I'm ready to make out with homeless people.
Yay! Back to his old ways. That's good. Things are returning to normal.
Well, you're so cute, Heather, because your smile changed when we're talking about Terry. You light up.
I love
still.
my husband. We just had our
celebrated
22
your anniversary.
Yeah, just
Oh
had
my
our
God.
22 year
22,
wedding anniversary.
wow.
Oh my God, I was looking at the pictures of you two in the beginning you put on Instagram. You guys are so cute. I mean, you look the same.
Yeah, but you
I
did. Your
know,
whole
it's
face
crazy.
lit up.
Same.
You know
They're-
that.
Look at plastic surgery somewhere. I'm sure she's well, you're getting good products. Okay, wait.
Actually, that's
what's
what we
your
should
best
ask.
face product? I want to know.
What's that? Tell us your
Important.
secrets.
What is your secret for great skincare?
Well, they have a skincare line.
I know.
We have a skincare
tell
line.
us about your skincare line.
Yeah, Console Beauty. That's at shop here. You can see it on my board right there.
There it is. There it is.
Let me see if I can point there, right there, the blue. Console Beauty that we sell at Shop HQ. And so the thing is, I'm allergic to everything, hair dye, everything. So whatever goes on my skin just has to be really clean. And we just developed, we've been doing skincare, I mean, honestly, for 20 years. And then about 6-7 years ago, we developed these new products and called them Consult Beauty. And we've been selling on the shopping channel, but they're great and they're natural. I mean, I have no makeup on
You look
right now.
so
I
good.
really don't wear makeup unless I'm working or if I go out, I'll put on some makeup, but I try just not to. I like a clean face. And I think when you just have good, clean skin products, you know, it's
Do
the
you
best
have a
thing ever.
sunscreen? You must have had reactions to sunscreens because my son had a super allergic reaction to every single sunscreen.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you have a sunscreen in your line?
We don't. You know why? Because to be just perfectly candid, they don't make money. So we
Yeah. Well, I figure too, they're
and
just
the
loaded
first
with
question
chemicals.
I asked, I remember, and I'm like, "Where's
Yeah.
the sunscreen?"
Yeah.
They
And
don't-
it's
they
such
don't
a
make-
personal preference. Too.
And there's so many good ones out there
Yeah.
that it's just not necessary. We
Yeah.
make products that don't exist anywhere else. So we have products that volumize, that resurface, and all that.
Oh,
But one of
I'm
my
so into
favorite
that.
things that's not in our line is this La Mer mist. Have you ever tried
I
that?
love La Mer.
You had me at La Mer.
Yeah, it's a mist, and you just spray it. And I feel like it's kind of like being in the produce section at the supermarket.
I
like you're
just always stick my face when the
mist-
lightning goes in the thunder, and I'm like, oh,
I love
it's
that
misting time.
hydration.
Put your face in.
And I'm like, Mindy, you're going to have to remove your
misting.
face from the kale. We have to go.
It's usually the cucumbers.
Okay, Mindy.
What?
Well, it took a long time for you to get to a sex joke. I'm impressed. We're at about 25 minutes in, and Mindy had not made an innuendo.
She likes to make sure her kids don't listen to this podcast.
That is so funny. You know what? I don't like my kids to listen to my podcast either. When I do promos for it, if I talk about them, I don't promo it.
Right.
Because as soon as they see I'm talking about them, they listen to it. I'm like, it's like listening to my diary. Don't
Don't
or
listen. The
reading my
world
diary.
can read
Like,
it,
don't
but
listen.
not you.
Wait, were your
Right, not
kids featured on the reality show?
Yeah.
They were? What was that like? Because I've always wanted to ask somebody who's part of one of these shows, because that must be a big decision for a family to make, to decide whether or not to put your family on camera.
Well, they were so little at the time, to be honest with you. I mean, Coco was like 9 months old when we started. And so, kids that age kind of walk in and smile and are cute and leave.
Right.
They're not really involved in anything. But that was part of the decision when it was, when I got off the show, was that they were kind of at an age where it really wasn't fair to make those decisions for them.
That's where I kind of had to consider taking it too, because I had 12 and 15. I'm like, that's kind of a
a
really
different age
tender
group,
age.
yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
they're friends with Shannon Bedore's kids too, and so they've seen and things how that's gone a little bit. So
They already have to
it's
deal
hard to
with
have
so
your
much.
whole life out there. I mean, social media is enough not having that kind of attention.
It's a lot.
So
Meanwhile, I'm laughing. I'm thinking of Jack when we were mic'd for Hanukkah one year. My son, who just was in here, like he's 13, so he's probably 8 or 9 at the time, and he was so sad that he wasn't on the like he was mic'd, he was ready, and like
His
He
moment.
didn't show it.
He got cut.
and he was like, "What happened?" I'm like, "You ended up on the editing floor."
Well, guess what? He'll probably be in our show, so his fame is redeemed.
There you
Gotta
go.
give him a little title.
He'll be
Give him a
redeemed.
Chiron.
Son of Sarah.
Son of Sarah. Can I just make mention of your background, Heather? I'm super Pinterest crazy person, and I love
It looks
a
like a
vision
Pinterest
board.
background.
I love me a vision board. I love it. I can't stop. I mean, your face is so gorgeous, but I keep trying to look behind you. Is this your
That's your trophy wall.
inspiration?
This is all
What's
the
going
things-
on behind you? Because
So the
Heather, if you
room
could
Dubrow's
visualize
world.
it for people who are just listening, because I feel like this is a motivation moment.
Yeah, here, I'm
I
just going
need
to
a
tilt up for a
lesson because
second.
I
So
love this
you
kind
can
of stuff,
see
but
It
I've never
looks
done
so
it.
good.
Very cool.
They're all branded. So,
Okay, can we just stop for a sec before if you look at her wall, Heather's house, you can follow her house on YouTube on Heather's closet, Heather's laundry room, Heather's
Okay.
wrapping
Are you
kit,
serious?
Heather's garage, Heather's
cool.
theater. The
Oh my
drama
God,
is
it's
so
amazing. It is
her
so
closet.
amazing.
We are remodeling our house right now. I'm like, I need a wrapping station and a laundry room like Heather Dubrow's. I had her design. I'm like, would you please look at this YouTube? We need to do something like this. I love that you have ribbon with your name on it in every color. You have
nice.
all.
I
Oh yeah,
know.
the Dubrows. They've got
Ribbon with
cool.
her. Okay.
everything's branded. I have bags
Everything.
and boxes and tissue paper.
Oh,
I
so
I
cute.
love that stuff. I mean, details like that are crazy to me. So the room I'm sitting in was our guest room, and when I realized no one comes. So and when the pandemic hit, and I don't really want anyone anyway. So when the pandemic, don't stay. There's a lovely hotel. So when the
Jewish
pandemic
mom.
hit, I was doing my show from home. I was like, I have nowhere to go. And even though we are in a big house, like it seems like there's no privacy. Like everyone's just everywhere. So I redid this whole room and I can now film in all 4 directions depending on what I'm doing. So I have one direction for my podcast.
Can you spin us around? Can you give us a spin around?
I can't.
I think he knows better than to ask that.
I might unplug something, but I'm going to do a YouTube video of this room. But like in one direction, it's where I sell my clothing line, Heather's Closet for Shop HQ over there. This is where I do press. But these boards, it's a little bit of things I'm doing, things I've done, and things I want to do. So like,
Oh, I love it.
over here, it's like, we're building a house in Idaho. So I have a bunch of things that inspire me for that house that I like to look at to feel creative. There's our books, our book covers are over here, and like clothing swatches from next season that I'm working on, and just all kinds of things. It makes me happy.
I love that.
Sarah,
Wait,
does
so
Heather ever
done
come into your
what to
house and
do.
try to organize it, or does she give you?
You know what's so funny is that she hasn't even been to my new place yet. No,
How weird
Really?
is that?
right? Oh my
Well, it's been a
gosh. And we've
pandemic,
just been-
yeah.
Yeah.
it has. You're right. We moved.
Yeah.
We literally were only here 9 months and stuff. No, but Heather is the best at passing down things when she's reorganizing.
We love that.
So-
Do you
Oh,
give
yeah.
away your
I
closet?
like that.
I've,
Well,
I've since when we moved, because we're in a little bit smaller place, I since passed along a couple things that
love
like
that.
people had always had their eye on, and I'm like, for you.
Aw.
From
Pay
Heather.
it forward. Wear it.
cool.
Wear
I love
it
that, 'cause,
forward.
furniture. Furniture is the most annoying thing because it's expensive, and there's no resale value to it. There's just not. So you
No.
really have to like. I hate furniture, but I mean, you need furniture. You got to sit on something. So I love whenever we move, because we usually move every 3 years. This has been a long adventure in this house. 5 years so far.
Whoa, it's a record.
So yeah, I'll give things away. I love that.
I love it.
Let us know when
All
you're
right,
giving
well,
it away and where
we're
we can
gonna
find
do
it.
Word of the day.
Yeah, we
guys.
got. Oh my goodness, we've been
It's that
talking.
time.
I'm
It's
having
that
so
time.
much
Oh my
fun,
goodness.
So you
we're
can.
gonna
You
get
got to
to
go
word
look
of
at
the
her
day.
YouTube. It's
JD,
so
pull
fun.
it
I'm
out of the
definitely
hat.
going to check out Heather's
This
closet. I know a thing or
time
two
went by
about spending time in
too.
closets. So I,
can't tell you
want
how many-
to.
I'm sure if it were as fabulous as hers, you wouldn't have come out.
The word.
You might not have ever left the closet if you had Heather's.
Yeah, I know. Seriously.
What's the
This
word?
is a good one. This is one that's scary for a lot of men. Today's word is commitment.
Oh, damn.
I don't know if you can see that.
Okay,
What
what's
does that mean to you, Sarah?
Well, commitment is. Well, actually, you want to know what the first word that came to my mind?
Yes, that's what we
Yes,
want. The
that's how it
first thing
works.
that came to your mind.
is work.
Uh-huh.
Like it takes work to have commitment. And
does.
that was the first thing that came to my mind. But I think it's a great word and it's a strong word. And when you find something or someone to be committed to, that can be like the best thing ever.
And when you work at it, it rewards you.
Yeah.
100%.
And you guys are committed to your friendship, obviously. That's a beautiful thing.
100%.
Yeah.
Heather?
Mindy's been committed before.
Shut up.
The first word that popped in my head was the word journey. I mean, I think being committed to a cause, being committed to your partner, being committed to your family, all of that is part of your journey. I like the word commitment because I think it really shows when you're committed to something, it means something to you. You know, you care.
Yep. That's so well said. I mean, and what both of you said too, commitment to me has been like a terrifying thing for a lot of times. And I think what's missing in that fear is the realization of all that comes with commitment. That's so beautiful that now I'm like in a 3-year committed relationship. Yeah. I actually see like what's on the other side now of doing the work that, that you just mentioned. But people do need to say, like, it's so easy to say, yeah, I'm all about that commitment. I'm going to make a commitment. But they need to remember what you're agreeing to do is work.
Yeah.
You're agreeing to work because it is, I completely agree. Like it takes a lot of effort and energy to commit to something, but the fruit is very sweet when you do it.
The first word that comes to mind, the first word was tattoo. The second word is
Tattoo from Fantasy Island, or you want a tattoo that says commitment?
She's talking about her lower back tattoo.
Fantasy
She's like, if you're
Island,
seeing
right?
that tattoo, we're in a commitment.
my tramp stamp showing.
I always say, if you see my
Do you have a
tattoos,
tramp
you're too
stamp,
close.
Mindy?
No, I have nothing.
Mindy said
Would
if you
you
can
ever
read
get a
this tattoo, you need to
tattoo?
back up.
Would you ever get a tattoo?
Would I ever? I don't think so. I
want
so.
more.
I am a
have to.
commitment phobe.
I thought
I know, but I agree. It would be hard to pick something that I'd want for my whole
For
life.
my whole life. I know. Well, I told my daughter, because the little one wants tattoos. Like she's been drawing
Max
on
too.
herself she came home from school yesterday. The kids were writing all over her neck. I picked her up and I'm like, wait, what's that say on your neck? She didn't know, and it said MILF. I'm like, why is MILF on your neck?
She doesn't know the definition.
She doesn't know it. I'm like, do you know what that means? It's not a good thing.
knows.
She's like,
She's
I'm
to a dog.
innocent.
I think one of the boys was sending a message home.
Oh well.
FYI.
I
That's
got a fake
gross.
ID to get my first tattoo, and it was in Colorado.
Oh my God, tattoo. See,
By a guy named Skeech.
Oh,
so
Skeech
there
is
you go.
sketch.
Skeech and Sketch. It was my freshman year.
So
You're not
of
going to believe
college.
it.
I
love
told
you
my
so
daughter,
much.
I said, if you want to get a tattoo, if you get a tattoo, we are not paying for a wedding. So
That is ridiculous,
Nope,
Minnie.
nope,
We're going to have to talk after
The
this.
word was commitment. What
I
could be
wanna-
greater than
I wanna
wedding
get
for
to
commitment?
That is so crazy.
She can get married.
You gotta
Just
stop.
I don't want her to tattoo a name on her that she might not be committed to.
Now
Not a
I
name.
know why
Life.
she
Never
says
a
you're an
name.
old parent.
No, but that's a good point because Max wants to get a tattoo, and I said you have to wait till you're 18 because she's wanted other things, and I've said wait till you're 18 and she
Well,
gets over it.
But that's
so I
the
want.
rule. That's the rule. So it's not
But,
like you're
but,
being.
but
you're
people
saying
get
you
fake IDs. I mean, I get it. It could totally happen. But
Yeah.
she showed me like a Billie Eilish symbol or something. And I said, okay, listen, if you really want to get a tattoo when you're 18, I can't stop you. That's fine. Just be thoughtful about it. I go, think about this. Will you still want that image on you when you're 40?
They have no idea. They think they do.
She
That's
knows.
the
But
thing.
you know what?
she
The
thought
purpose of a
about it.
tattoo is to reflect on a time in your life. It's like it's not something.
Stick it
that-
on your back and forget about it. That's what I say.
Well, I got
Well,
a
I
tramp
was wanting
stamp
to get to
before.
what
Can't
my
see it if it's back there.
Anyway,
Commitment,
It was
I
before the
digress,
trans
but
got
I
a hold
was
of it.
going to say commitment to me is freedom. That's what I was going to say because when you really commit to someone, you free yourself of the anxiety of thinking about committing. You actually go into it, you do the work, and you become free to enjoy what you've committed to.
She sold that to Glenn.
Yeah,
Just so you know, Glenn,
No,
commitment
you're
is
really
freedom.
going to be free.
diamonds.
right?
And diamonds.
But isn't that funny? The opposite of being committed is freedom.
I know, exactly,
it's kind of
exactly.
ironic.
And-
Well, the quote that I like the best is commitment is an act, not a word. And I tell my kids it's one thing to
yes.
get something, it's another to keep it, right?
That's right.
Two different things. We love you guys so much.
So
Thank
much.
you.
Thank
Follow
you so much
Heather
for coming.
Dubrow on
I
everything.
think all of us should go get a tattoo one night after a few tequilas.
That just says Heather Dubrow's World. Listen to our
Yeah, baby.
podcast.
I love it.
Yeah. I'm gonna write
Do
that.
it.
Bye, you guys.
Thank you guys for joining
Isn't
us.
the friend
Thanks
son for
for
life?
having
So
us.
Heather Dubrow, we can find her anywhere on Instagram,
Sarah,
YouTube,
do you have
everywhere.
do you do social media, Sarah?
I'm not a great poster, but I'm Sarah S. Cohen 4.
Sarah
on
S. Cohen 4.
Okay.
And we didn't talk about her cognitive therapy and
Oh,
memory.
that's a whole
I
nother
want to do
show.
that. So
We've
we'll have to
got
have
it.
you
A
back on
repeat
and get
visit.
really deep into memory
Exactly.
issues because I've got them.
I
Real
would love
friends.
to.
You can just tell. I love it. These two are such good friends. I love it. Thank you guys for being on the show today.
Thank you guys.
Thanks for
Thank
having
you both.
us.
We'll talk to you soon, guys. I
Okay,
just
bye,
started following you,
guys.
Sarah. Bye.
Bye.
Did you like what you heard today on our podcast? Or did you like what you saw on our vidcast? Were you watching?
How about sending us a comment or suggestion on any topic you want us to talk about?
We'll have new episodes every Tuesday. Please join in the conversation on our Facebook page, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and follow us on Instagram. You can download our podcast anywhere you get your podcasts. See you next time on
Friend Some and Then Some.